I can't wait to take this hair down.
I guess when you saw the fast start that the starters got off to, how does that then energize the rest of the bench as you guys start?
You've seen that, they set the tone and guys came in and followed. That's what, we have to do, moving forward. And it gives us a chance to really put our imprint on the game the way we did. We came out on both ends of the floor and, we did really well, got out, created transition points. And the way the ball moved tonight was, really excellent.
Third game back for Kelly from his injury. Just how does he look in your eyes?
He's looking good. Like you said, it's still building up, man. It gives, Nick another niche to, play around with. So, he looks really good, and I'm glad that we got him back. It was, he did it really well with his recovery. He took it very seriously, and his training staff and everyone, was on it. So, it feels good to have him back, and he looks really good.
You got some time tonight, but the last couple of games you hadn't played, and opportunities that probably would have fit in well. I guess, is it hard for you to sort of not get those opportunities?
I just went through a whole year that no, not at all. We're a deep team, so no, it does not.
Conversations you have to have with Nick, or no?
Nah, it's just the way that he's still figuring out lineup. So whatever happens, go in. You just stay ready. That's prime example.
How do you keep yourself ready when your role might change night to night?
Listen, you gotta be prepared. You gotta be a pro. And every time you step on that court, your name's called. You gotta be prepared. That's it. At the end of the day, I went through the stuff when I went through in LA. Everybody, asks the same questions. How do I stay ready? It's a mental thing.
You've known Pat for a really long time, but this iteration of Pat Bev, what does he bring to this team, maybe internally, that we don't see?
A grit, a grind, that underdog mentality, that get it out the mud. Like I said, I've known Pat since we were teenagers, and I've seen his journey. Being kids from Chicago, I've been a part of a lot of things, and he's going through his transition of things. So everybody's journey is different, but the fact that he's been consistent with staying persistent throughout his journey, putting the time in, putting the work in. That's what we was teammates before my rookie year. I seen the thing, and Pat has just evolved throughout that time. So it's still as crazy as it was back then, but he brings that mentality, that leadership that this team needs.
What have you observed about his relationship with Tyrese?
Oh, he wants Tyrese to be the greatest he can be, and he gonna push him as much as he can. That's what he's a great veteran, and having Pat Beverly on his team, like I said, his leadership alone, it speaks volume because you hear it, and he's not quiet about it. You know what you're gonna get from Pat day in, day out.
So there's a line that you have to kind of manage when you're pushing young guys, and if you push too far, you can get under their skin or lose them. Or
Nah, you understand this is a man's league. You people that are veterans, we have to push, like you said, because there's no baby in this league. One thing about it is just gotta take your veterans, because I've had veterans that that talk to me differently. I've had veterans that talk to me quietly. It's just a matter of different perspectives. Whatever the case, how the message is based off the person that is. You're not gonna get the same approach from everybody. Somebody has to. It's trying to see who can light a fire under you, and that's what it's all about.
This game tonight obviously unfolded a lot differently than the game in D.C. last week when it went down to the wire. You guys needed 50 points from Joe. Did the way that game went inform anything about tonight, or is it just that they're two different games and you can't really compare the two of them?
Well, our approach was different. Yeah. Our feel for the game, we came out, we set the tone, and not allowed them to, set the tone like they did last game. And like I said, we enforced our will, throughout the game, and we never let up. And that's what we was able to, push through and, separate ourselves the way we did.
You talked about your relationship with Pat, and then you also have, you came over with Nico and Marcus, and there's so much familiarity, it feels like, amongst that group of guys with this team. How much does that help that transition become pretty seamless, it seems like?
It's great. Like I said, us guys coming over together, and then for me, being basically growing up here, as an NBA player, I'm very familiar with the city, so my transition here wasn't as bad. Marcus being from here, helps as well. He has a lot of family here, a lot of friends. Like I said, I have a lot of people here as well. So, just having that connection in itself, it's a great aspect to have because, like, it's not like you coming in unfamiliar territory. The transition of, us coming and being in familiar territory helps the guys that came with us. And like I said, we point them kind of in the right direction.
Looks like on defense, you're communicating a lot and always stunting like at the top and near the nail and helping all the time. Like, how seriously do you take that role as kind of like just being a defensive leader for this team, just the energy and like ability you can bring on that end?
That's my job. That's how I set the tone. I'm the guy that brings that energy, brings that effort, and if I don't do it, who else will? Like I said, it's a mentality of like that's what makes my presence felt on the floor. That's what my job is, and that's what I do best.
Have you seen the stat for you like lead the league in deflections per 100 or stuff like
It's
that?
not the first time. It's not the first time. It won't be the last.